Now for this hour, we start with Middle East. Palestinians have protested against settlements in the occupied West Bank, where Israeli forces have used tear gas to disperse them. This comes as Israeli forces have stormed towns and demolished residential buildings. Palestinian officials have accused Israel of a campaign of displacement in the city, saying the operation was part of a systematic attempt to ethnically cleanse Palestinians from their land. Let's in fact listen to what Palestinian protesters have shared.
من هنا قرر أهالي كفر قدوم وبيت إيد واللجان المقاومة الشعبية والمتضامنين وأهالي طول كرم وقلقيلي بالحضور والاستعداد لإزالة هذه البورة الاستيطانية الإرهابية التي تعمل على عملية الضم الصامت لأراضينا الفلسطينية.
نحن لم نبتعد عن أرضنا، باقين في أرضنا. نقول لهذا الاحتلال: أينما وجدت أيها الاحتلال، أينما وجدت سياستك، أينما وجد هذا القهر، هؤلاء العصابات
والجيش عملها منطقة عسكرية، والمنطقة العسكرية اللي عملها الجيش كانت على المستوطنين وعلى الأهالي أصحاب الأراضي، فتفاجأنا إنه بس على أصحاب الأراضي.
Now for this discussion, we welcome Ms. Alison Butler. She's a former AP Bureau Chief of Romania, joins us live from Bucharest. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Good to see you.
Thank you, Suba.
Thank you. Now looking at this, as Israel expands their territory into where Palestinian citizens still live, what is Israel's responsibility as an occupying force, and these things that, dispersing Palestinians from their settlements and occupying West Bank more and more, how do they justify this?
Well, they are illegal settlers. There's two things. There's the outposts, which are set up by Palestinians, and there's the settlements, which are approved under Israeli law. But since Netanyahu came to government, has been in government, and also since October the 7th, 2023, there have been more and more settlers moving there, more and more settlements and outposts approved. Israel, either by the government or by Israelis, are trying to put more and more pressure on Palestinians to move them out of their territory, what is illegally, internationally considered their territory. And Israel seems to be completely flouting international law. It appears to have a total disregard to international law. And there's been no efforts to broker a settlement, an agreement at a bilateral level. So Israel is completely ignoring what international law says, or their reason for doing it. They say security. They say that the Palestinians are planning terror attacks or attacks against Jewish settlements, Israel, and so on. And so they say they have to move in, they have to raise down houses and turn them into military centers, as they've done recently, in order to guarantee their own security. But they're also arresting. I think that there's thousands and thousands of Palestinians have been arrested, and some there's absolutely no charge. They're just languishing in Israeli jails. So Israel in this case is acting as a law unto itself, and it's got worse since October the 7th, when Palestinians attacked Israel.
Right. Thank you for shedding light on this background. And what are the political and legal implications of now Palestinian officials accusing Israel of forced displacement and ethnic cleansing in the current international context?
It's a very tricky question. I mean, Israel has suffered massive reputational damage since Gaza and their military action there, despite the fact that they had a horrific terrorist attacks against themselves. And obviously what they're doing, putting masses of pressure and moving in forcibly into the West Bank, is harming their reputation even more. And as I said, it seems that Israel really has scant regard for what the international community says. I mean, it does have America as the big friend, but a major friend on the world stage. But, even Donald Trump isn't happy about it. But it seems
mediation efforts are succeeding or not. What do you think?
I don't think they're necessarily succeeding, as we're seeing. There's still the Israelis are still flouting international law. But I think without these international mediation, the situation could possibly be even worse, because Israel, to some extent, will listen to the United States because it does need their support. So if things get too out of hand, then the right wing will have to restrain itself. So even if the international mediation is not working as a peace-loving person would wish, without that international mediation, the situation would be worse and would deteriorate, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree with you. Thank you very much. With that, I would like to thank Ms. Alison Mutler for joining us today and sharing that insight from Romania. Now we move on to Iran. According to reports, Iranian hackers claim to have hacked the personal mobile phone of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's chief of staff, Zachi Braverman. The Iranian hacker group, Handala, has announced the alleged breach online, saying it gained access to sensitive material and has begun publishing some of the data. The group has also threatened to release more information. Israel's Prime Minister's office says there is currently no indication that Braverman's phone was compromised, but confirmed that a security investigation is underway. Earlier this month, the same group has claimed it hacked former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett's phone, a claim Bennett later said was limited to his Telegram account. The latest allegation highlights escalating cyber tensions between Israel and Iran. Now for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Tamir Periente. He's a CTO of truly specialized in deepfake detection in the communication channels, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much, Mr. Tamir, for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. What more can you tell?
Thank you.
Thank you. What more can you tell us about this ongoing claims made by Iranian hackers group?
So two main things I have to say. The first is we don't know yet what really happened. Hacking hackers often try to create chaos, so they say whatever they want, and we can't really be sure what already has exposed. Also, phones usually aren't where the real secrets live, because in sensitive settings, phones are kept out, and officials are trained not to discuss classified topics over messaging. But if I would guess, my guess is that some account of his was exposed, like a Telegram or Gmail or even iCloud account.
Yes, it is still alleged. We don't know yet about this, but what does this alleged cyber attack from Iran suggest about the evolving nature of confrontation between Israel and Iran?
Well, it's something that goes on for years and years. We have our own attacking teams and defensive teams, and they have their hacker groups. It doesn't really say anything besides, I think it's like more of a child play, because they're trying to achieve topics and not really any damage over the state, just personal damage for the ones that are hacking their phones, because as I said before, it's more of trying to get their contact, their photos, make embarrassments over officials, but not really state damage like hackers often do to create a financial crisis or chaos.
So what technical indicators would cybersecurity investigators look for to verify or disprove the claims that Iran is making that they glitched into senior officials' personal mobile device?
So basically they look over footprints of hacking tools. Right now the phone is probably outside of any internet source, so it's offline, and teams are probably going over many of the cloud files, many of the messaging logging systems, and trying to see if there is any indications of something was installed, or if there has been a login to any of his accounts from a different place that it's not his device.
Right, and how does alleged hacks of personal devices, these rather than official systems, how do you think this is changing the threat model for protecting high-level government officials? As you mentioned in your previous answer, that the officials are encouraged not to discuss these things near the phone and also leave the phone outside of Knesset and stuff. But do you think there has to be other protecting mechanisms to protect these talks?
Not really. Basically, all officials also have, all actually people have to do some more training about phishing attacks, because probably that's how his phone was attacked. It's an iPhone, if I remember correctly, that I read. And so hardware is rarely the target by hacking groups. It's often a large phishing scheme that they try to get people to log into their account for our site. They send you a message saying you should go here because your money or your account was breached. Please type your password, we'll reset it, and then they take the account and they can go through they can generate a token and log in to his account from a different device. And I think it's more of as I said, it's not, we have the regulations and the trainings to not have any sensitive information on the phone, but you should, for your own reputation, protect your phone from being breached by phishing training, I guess.
Thank you for highlighting that, Mr. Tamir Periente, and joining us all the way from Tel Aviv. Now we move on to China. China's